Nothing makes me happier than watching the Worldcon science fiction establishment just fall on itself, as these people have alienated everybody normal in science fiction and fantasy for what used to be a very, very fun institution. Worldcon was the premier convention. You'd go and you'd hobnob with Anne McCaffrey, with Harlan Ellison, with Jerry Pournelle, with Robert Heinlein. I mean, it's become something now where it's just this insular group of social justice activists who you don't even know who any of them are. I mean, the only people you probably even know who are at this convention at this point are George R.R. Martin, who should be working on his book, but he's not. Brandon Sanderson, who's out there too. And it's like, okay, who are all these people? And that's a great question. And you'll see the answer right here, as they've been courting controversy after controversy as the cons dwindled in attendance. The Hugo Awards at this point are such a joke that there's even categories where a nomination was granted that only had 18 votes for it. I mean, it's nuts. This is how they have destroyed themselves by becoming more and more insular. Incidentally, they claim to be doing it in the name of diversity and inclusivity. If it was actually diverse and inclusive, wouldn't that be making it bigger and, of course, appealing to more people? But what they mean by that is we want to support black disabled lesbians, who are actually dudes, who go by the gender Zer, and so you're talking 0.0000001% of people who like science fiction, and of course nobody reads this stuff. All these people are just posturing, and none of these people are actually booksellers who actually do anything in the genre for real. It's really tragic. But let's get into this, because they're eating their own again, and it's because there's a strong woman lead panel, but it's not woke enough. And they're blowing up at Worldcon on Blue Sky over this. So funny. All right, guys, please hit the like and subscribe button. I can't believe they released this programming. It's nuts. I am, of course, making the difference in science fiction. They banned me in 2018 because I call them out on this stuff. I just talk about this stuff, and you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to notice. You're not allowed to tell the truth, and you're not allowed to create great science fiction like they used to. And that's what I'm doing with The Stars Entwine. This is classic space opera, and so you're going to really, really enjoy this. If you like Bane books from like the 80s and early 90s, if you like Lois McMaster Bujold's stories, I think you're going to really enjoy this. So The Stars Entwine sets up a human who goes on an alien starship to spy on behalf of humanity, and is supposed to bring some information back home, but things get really, really complicated on that level. And I build this beautiful culture of the Arishans, who you're really going to love as well. It's a trilogy, and so grab the whole thing. It's on ebook, print, and audio in the description below. Thank you guys so much for reading and making us a success. I'm doing a new trilogy that's spinning out of this later this month, I think. Hopefully, if I get it finished. It's called Valiant Frontiers, so this is a great spot to get in on what we're doing. Thanks so much. That's in the description below, as I said, and read this weekend. Thanks, guys. All right, Worldcon unveiled its list of panels full of an entire track of culture/DEI to put the fun in science fiction and fantasy. It's ridiculous as one would think, but perhaps the most entertaining part is it's still not enough for the Blue Sky Inquisition, who are blasting one of the panels for not being far enough on the social justice scales. It is tragic how the Worldcon Science Fiction Convention became a place of leftist political extremism rather than a place to celebrate all sci-fi and fantasy. Over the years, it's descended into absolute madness and scandal because the organizers push towards catering towards a niche in publishing that doesn't have the draw to bring normal people to the convention, and it doesn't do much other than serially complain online about being oppressed because of identity politics. The controversies over the last several years have ranged from having weapons manufacturer Raytheon sponsor the convention, yes, they were sponsored, to then going and taking it to communist China, which was a controlled location where the CCP controlled all of the content to virtue signal against all of that, and of course push the Hugo Awards in this way that they wanted. And then, of course, now they virtue signal against their own location in Seattle, warning against travelers because they shouldn't go because of Donald Trump. But yeah, go to China. It's very weird. Doesn't make any sense. That's what it is. None of social justice makes any sense. It's all insane. It all contradicts itself, and that's why they have problems, of course, relating to people. But this is what's happened, and what's happened now is like all these weird mentally ill people are in charge of all this stuff. So they made a new convention this year, And they have 60 DEI panels, 60. It's crazy. Here's a sampling of some of why are villains queer-coded. Numerous genre traits, characteristics, and stereotypes have been molded into the modern idea of the villain. Many such quirks are directly tied to stereotypes of the LGBTQIA+ community. Why? Because the status quo fears the growing acceptance of LGBTQIA+ community. Or because the status quo has always excluded and oppressed these individuals. Well, they're not going to have a normal people on this panel, so I'll talk about this. It's very interesting because I was watching Star Trek Strange New Worlds, and they put in a transgender, narcissistic villain, and I was like, yeah, but that like transgenderism is narcissism, and this person does go out there and try to like force everybody into his like pretending to be a woman and against reality, and so that actually makes sense. And the thing is, it's not an establishment doing it. These people are putting them in there intentionally to have queer representation, and it's usually one of those people writing that kind of thing. That's what happened in Doctor Who as well. Russell T Davies is a big-time activist, and so he put in the drag queen as a narcissistic person who's stealing all the joy out of art, and that's exactly what they're doing. They can't lie that hard, so they represent, and because all of their stuff is a lie and doesn't make any sense, the villains end up being weirdos who don't make any sense. And mentally ill people cause problems. I mean, that's the truth. And so that's exactly the truth there that these people don't want to hear. So they can't do that. Look at this. It goes, diagnosing your characters. Okay. And this is for diagnosing with mental illness. Honoring other cultures without stealing from them. Yes, there's multiple cultural appropriation panels. More than a little queer. Seattle's LGBTQIA+ history. Oh, joy. Discussion group, Black creators for Black creators. Oh, sounds like fun. Visibility in an oppositional world. It's hard to be a creator from a minority group. Yeah, because nobody's buying your crap, right? And that's the thing. What's really hard is actually being a creator who appeals to normal people like myself, because you guys make it really hard on me. I'm blacklisted from publishing. I can't go to these conventions, and because you've unhumaned me to the point where it's crazy. And it's why? It's just because you're afraid of different viewpoints. You want to talk about that visibility in an oppositional world. But the thing is, I make my own platforms on YouTube and Substack and the like, and people follow because guess why? I just tell the truth, and people are starved for truth at this point. You can't stop the signal, and that's what you really want, these people at these conventions. They want to stop the signal of normal people. Look at this one. He, her, them, zem, her, ver, tem, fire. Wow. What was that pronoun? Who did it refer to again? I mean, you can't make this stuff up. What a joke. So this is just a smattering. Like I said, there's 60 of these panels, all with people who are not making livings on science fiction, who are not professional writers, who are pretending. But this is not the thing that led them to be controversial. This was the problem. The strong women lead do not equal LGBTQIA+. Here we are. Have you ever walked into a bookshop and asked for books with a strong women leads? No, I haven't. Perhaps you've requested that love not be a major plot point. Yeah, these people are anti-love, as we know. They go, love is love, but they really just hate everything, right? Has the staff excitedly passed you half a dozen books that, though good, have a bit of a repeating theme? Here we ask the question, why do authors and bookshops assume the only way to have a strong woman lead is to make them gay with a woman love interest and prevent men characters from rising over the background? Well, because that's all you guys publish. I mean, that's literally all you promote is these strong women leads that are gay with another woman love interest and prevent men characters rising over the background. That's what you cheer for. Blue Sky's very mad about this panel, and Worldcon's actually removed it from their website because of all the controversy here. Isn't it possible to have a book with strong women and men characters in it and not have them fall in love? Oh, stunning and brave. Well, the thing is, like, when you are at the crux of, like, where all this comes from and what all this strong woman lead going through, you're actually allowing women into science fiction who are mostly romance writers. And that's why all of them end up delving into romance like that. But the cancellation of this is just so fun. So fun. Worldcon. Let's look it up. Go to the top. A real panel at Seattle Worldcon. Yes. LMAO. They're mad about this. And it's like, you can't ask this question. This is a pretty innocuous question. Like, why can't we just have this? We want to, I want a strong, this is somebody who's like, I want a strong women lead who just doesn't have a romance thing in the book. Well, I mean, nobody's going to buy that. That's why. I mean, already nobody's buying the strong women leads. You then get into a niche of a niche and a niche. There's your answer, right? And so here we go. Who will think of the men? So they actually tried to code this as like a right wing panel or something like that. And I don't understand that because it's ridiculous. I hate how every media is overrun by well-written and fully realized lesbians. I do too, Kate. That's true. But what I opened what looks to be a great book. It's just 250 pages of gross. These people are disgusting. Why are they all so degenerate? I'm not even going to read that. Family friendly, but for 35-year-old minors. Male to Fujo transsexual. Oh boy. So it's funny to see these guys get the smallest taste of what queer people have been force-fed forever and immediately have to schedule a full symposium about it. Is this a queer guy, Craft Sinner? He looks interesting. All dudes on that panel, I bet. Now, are you even allowed to say that these are leftists, like, talking like this? It's like, okay. Let's see. Do you get weird looks when you say, I don't like gay shit at the gay local bookstore? Wow. So again, this person's just like, why does everything have to be like a romance, like when a strong woman lead? And, they're trying to say that you can have different diverse storytelling viewpoints. Again, it's a pro-diversity panel, and it's not diverse enough for the Inquisition. This is where it gets absolutely crazy. Wow. Are you effing kidding me? You just see they're just angry. They just get outraged over nothing. And that's what these people, this is who they decided to appeal to at Worldcon, though, right? I feel like this was headed to a good conclusion. More Ace-era representation means better stories. Look at that. It's like, I don't even know what those words mean, and I'm not going to look it up. And so this is where it all goes through. It's so exhausting. They always talk about how exhausted they are. It's another thing they do. I've seen people say the same things about books starring any woman at all, that it's trendy and books are about women these days. Now it's women are sapphic. Whenever something goes from appearing in 1% of fiction to 2% of fiction, people start calling it overdone. It's in everything. I went through Apple TV Plus the other day, and I tried to watch there's nothing that doesn't have weird gender crap in it at this point. There wasn't one deal. It's very weird. And so this is kind of strange. They're canceling each other, of course, which I love. I love watching this. And I hope that they all boycott the convention. They're already doing so because AI, and they're crying about that too. That's another story. But oh my gosh, they have one panel that like is a little different about the topic promoting diversity, but it's not diversity the way they want the diversity promoted, which means they don't want diversity. If you look at it, they want a monolith in culture, and it's not diversity. It's all been a lie this entire time, and that's why this whole thing is imploding. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Guys, check out some great science fiction. This is the real stuff. The Stars Entwined in the description below. Grab it on ebook, print, or audio, and get the whole series. It really builds up nicely. I'll be back soon.